What is going on, folks? This is Roaming Prepper, and I hope everyone is staying warm, especially if you're, I guess, north of Oklahoma right now. Hello, Joe. Glad you made it. And like I said on my last video, my whole week is screwed up. My 6 o'clock videos are now at 3. My 3 is now at 6. I'm not even sure what's going on this weekend, so I'm just kind of winging it. For those of you who are wondering if the dogs play rough, oh no, now I said dogs and now they're looking at me. Any snarling or barking you hear in the background would be the two of them. Hey, Lucky. So today I'm going to do an early kitchen live, and what I'm going to do, I like to, whenever I invest my money in a new product, if I can, I like to get samples of that product and basically try them and try a few different ones and see if they are good or they're palatable or if they epically suck, because nobody really wants to, you spend a bunch of money. And I'm pretty confident a lot of people are going, trying to be ready for hurricane seasons coming up now and whatever other emergency they may foresee. And they're investing a lot of money in dehydrated foods and long-term foods, and they don't try them. And more importantly, they don't compare them to something they may already use. And what winds up happening when they open it, hey, Sherry, what's going on? When they wind up opening them and actually using them, it's really terrible. And then they're disappointed. I've read somewhere one person opened, I don't know, a can of some long-term food, something or other, and wound up actually getting a can full of powder, which is terrible. That's absolutely awful. You shouldn't have that happen. But the person even admitted, I never actually tried the daggone thing. So what was he expecting? So today, what I'm going to do, I'm going to compare one a lot of preppers use, which is the Knorr, and it's a bit shiny with that light. Sorry, the Knorr cheddar broccoli. It's not exactly the same dish. I couldn't get something a little closer. These go for about $1 to $2, depending where you pick them up. And it typically, let's see, this one expires in October of this year. So, and I bought it last year. So it has about a year shelf life. I'm going to compare that to one of these. Now, this is a Readywise adventure meal. And it's not apples to apples. It's not even the same dish. Last time I did this, I was able to at least do mac and cheese versus like HEB mac and cheese. In this case, I'm going to actually have to do 2 different brands and 2 different dishes. And hey, knock it off. I don't know what happened, but Luna had pinned Peppermint by her left ear to the couch. And I don't think they were just being rough, but. And hey, Shift Kicker, what's going on? Yeah, and Joe, that's the other thing I'm doing. I have leftovers, and I need a side for some of the leftovers. So I'm figuring I'm going to demo this, and then this will be a leftover that I can add to something else later. I don't like wasting food. I'm sure you guys can relate. So just to give you a background on the dishes, and I'm sure you guys see these a lot in the stores. It is. Okay, cheddar broccoli, fusilli pasta with broccoli and a cheesy cheddar sauce. It's as packaged, 460 calories. The entire package is 630 calories. It's 1 serving size, so they just put this in as 1 serving. Some quick stats. The sodium is through the roof for both of them. It's as prepared, 1290. So what I did here, so that's 1290, sorry, for the Knorr. The Readywise is 690 per container, so they're like 50 calories off. Sodium here is 1400 milligrams, so a few hundred milligrams apart. And let's see what else. Then this one has vitamin D, iron, potassium, calcium. And this one has, yeah, they're about the same. 20% iron, 25% calcium for the whole package. Yeah, they're a few percentage points. So both have vitamin D, calcium, iron, and potassium. Uh, this one has 19 grams of protein, and this one has 34 grams. But I also account for it that it has beef niblets in there as well. So it has some beef component. I'm having roasted buffalo cauliflower. I love buffalo cauliflower. I hadn't had that before. Hey, Jennifer. And I tried it and it was really yummy. And so now, if I can get it instead of French fries, I go that route. Granted, the buffalo sauce probably has all sorts of sodium and whatnot in it, but it's certainly better than French fried, which is basically a fat fried potato. Um, oh, you guys got tired finally. Both corgis are passed out, but because their legs are short, when they lay sideways, they just stick straight out like that. They're not like normal dogs where their dogs flop their legs down. So, hey, how big is serving size? Nutrition info is per serving. So this this one indicates the entire package, 630 calories, is one serving size. This one, the entire package is 690, but it indicates there's 2.5 to 3 servings per package. So this one technically should be 3 servings. And if you think about it, you make one of these as a side, you split it in 3 for 3 people. It's about the same. But yeah, by the package, this whole package is one serving size at 630 calories. This is 3 servings, but each serving is 280 calories to answer your question, but the whole package is 690. And that's kind of why I picked this to compare to that, because their caloric content was pretty close. This doesn't break down subs, so I guess if you split it in 3, it's a couple of hundred calories a serving. Hey, Pilgrim. Wait, I missed someone there. Hey, Heroic, what's going on? Hava, hello, Heroic, and Pilgrim. So I wanted to compare these two because I actually was kind of surprised by the quality of this one. Now, this is made by Unilever and may contain soy. That doesn't help me. It doesn't say where it's made. Maybe made in China and contain lead. I don't know. I need to quit saying that. I'm going to get banned somewhere. I don't know. Okay, so I don't know where this is made. This says proudly made in the United States. So now big difference. So I'm gonna angle the camera toward what I'm doing here, just so you guys can kind of see what I got going on. If I don't drop the tripod on myself, which would be embarrassing and funny at the same time. Now the dogs are tired. I should bark at their asses and just see what they do, just to be a jerk. Yes, I finally got rid of the Christmas garland. Using, yeah, and that's the way to do it, Joe. We got to save our money. I mean, so paint chips for flavoring. Yeah, from the made in China crap. Oh, most definitely. Hey, Puddle of Souls, what's going on? So for those of you who rolled in a little late on me, I'm going to be comparing, and it's not apples to apples, right? This is meant as a tabletop dish. This is meant as an adventure meal. So preparation is going to be different, and this is what I want to compare, show you guys. So if you look here, and I put this on low so I didn't burn everything, this is 1.5 cups of water, half cup of milk, and 1 tablespoon of margarine. The milk and margarine are optional. If you don't use the half cup of milk, you put a half cup of water so you get the right liquid. And it basically says, stir contents into package. Once you've got that to a boil, reduce heat and continue boiling gently for 10 minutes or until pasta is tender. Let stand at least 2 minutes, stir and enjoy. So I'm going to warm this up a little bit. I'm going to cheat, since I don't want 50 pots on the stove at once. I'm going to do the water for this guy in the microwave. Now this is a cook in the package. So this one, you add the 2 cups of boiling water directly into the Readywise pouch. So put that bad boy over here. We will let that do microwave things. And what I'm going to do, I lost my spoon. There we go. So I'm going to pour this. Oh, and make sure when you open these, I've done it repeatedly. If they have the little O2 absorber in there, don't put that in your food. So the Knorr does not, so I'm gonna let that do its thing. And it's powder and pasta basically. And I'm gonna stir this bad boy up a little. And let's see, stir contents and package, reduce boil. Okay, so I'm going to lower this once I get everything mixed up. And as you can see, it just looks kind of soupy at the moment. So surprisingly, it doesn't tell me to cover it, which you would think. Reduce heat and continue boiling gently. Okay. I'll let it come to a boil again, and then I'll lay it down. So Puddle of Souls just got back home. Hey, Flintstone girl, how are you? We have a hot water thing in a boil too. Yeah, actually that I've actually used my my coffee pot for that, but what I'll do, I'll have to wash out the filter where the filter paper goes. I'll wash it out, and then instead of using the decanter, which usually has some coffee residue in it, I'll put a measuring cup there, and then I'll just pour water in and then wait for it on the other side. So that's a quick way to boil. But yeah, Joe's spot on. I don't remember the brand, but I know what you're talking about. It's like a boiling device. Jennifer Cruz. So we're gonna let those guys boil, and let's see. I want to look through the chat real quick, make sure I didn't. Why are you barking? There's not even a UPS truck. Woof! What? Get. See, I can bark too. Go on. Get out. All right. So go away. Peppermint, go bite Jackson. Go get him. No, I didn't want you to bring him. I wanted you to get him. Go on. Shoot. All right. So anyway, I'm going to lower this now. And so a few things to note. Obviously, this is a tabletop food, right? But in order to prepare it, you're going to need water for both of them. This one, you may or may not need milk, and then you also need a pot, whereas this guy, you don't. So again, not meant for the same purpose, so it's not a direct comparison, but I always thought it makes sense to compare something new to something you've seen before, just to get an idea of what you're getting. Because these aren't cheap, and granted, they're a different type of product for the purpose, but what you don't want to do is invest a bunch of money into long-term foods and emergency foods that will wind up not being what you want. Did I have a question over there? Hey, Auslander. Hey, good day, bud. Cheers, cheers. Okay, here's a good question, folks. So what do you feel the bare minimum is someone needs to survive when it comes to food? Yeah, the puppy is a shit, dude. That's the truth. Hey, Stuart. Oh man. See, now that would have been fun. Yeah, and those are good questions. Well, Puddle, a few things. I'm going to put the timer here, and I'm going to let that do food things. And I'm going to have to watch this because I made that mistake before. So let's see if this water's hot without burning my fingers. It's not popcorn. Go away. So the dogs immediately rolled up. Now, obviously, in an emergency, you have a power outage. Shoot. You have a power outage. You can use. All right, kennel. Since you're gonna trip. All right. And busted. Now you're in dog jail. All right. So, obviously, in a power outage, you're. Oh, there you go. Hold on. And that's Lucky. That was a great answer, and Lucky's absolutely right. So you have to factor in things like, one, how many people are you feeding today, and how many would you expect to feed in an emergency? I don't know if it's possible, but I over prep certain things because I have family that live on the Gulf Coast, pretty much in multiple cities. So in any given year, I could see someone calling and saying, "Hey, we need to stay with you for a couple of days, or send our, one of my nieces up here to stay with me because we got hit with a flood, we got hit with a hurricane." Um, you have to factor in also how many meals a day, your caloric intake. A good place to start is write down what you eat in a week, as close as you can, and then kind of multiply that out and say, okay, I eat this much in a week. I wouldn't do a day because you eat different things every day, but I would do like a week and say, okay, in a week we ate this much bread, this much chicken, this much rice, and then multiply out. And that's at least a starting point to kind of give you an idea of where you're going. Hey, Stuart. Yeah, militant. That's the old. That looks like the old civil defense guidelines, but that they're very valid. Um, yeah, it is. It's like when people ask me, "Hey, Loretta." So, Joe, I almost did a firearms live today, but I couldn't get to the range fast enough because that would have been fun. Um, I have an HK I was going to demo, so you would have appreciated that for sure. Um, when you're trying to plan, I'm trying to plan a variety of foods. Again, we lost power for 2 weeks during Ike, but we didn't lose water because our local municipal district was a Cold War era district and it had diesel backup, so we still had potable water. They maintained the pressure at the water plant, so we were good. For Harvey, we only lost power for like a day and then another day, like a week later, but the water got iffy for a few days. So we had the opposite. And I learned a lot from that because honestly, I'd rather have consistent good water and no power than have power and be worried about my water, because then that becomes a whole nother pain in the ass. So uh, yeah, a lot of it depends on how you're going to approach it. So I'm going to open this bad boy here, I think. Technical errors. Are you barking? Okay, so the microwave in their minds equals popcorn, which is usually for movie night. But dogs are smart, right? So she foresees dad is playing with a microwave, therefore popcorn will occur. And this is what it looks like on the inside. It just They look like marshmallows, don't they? Yeah, and Oz, it's really hard. And sometimes Joe, one, you have to do that. Growing up, I know we did, because we went through some tough shit growing up. But also, it doesn't hurt to, and this is in general, even if you can afford or get access to the stuff that everyone wants, you may want to eat the spam. You may want to eat the stuff right out of the can because you might have to. I know a lot of people who I tell, yeah, when I worked on the rigs out in the field, I would just open Chef Boyardee, eat it out of the can. They looked at me like I had horns. They're like, oh, that's gross. How could you eat that? Well, what if you have to? So, Joe has a very valid point. Be open to having to do that. Mm. Okay, folks. Hey, yeah, and I didn't follow Prepping Preacher. I just started following him because of Jennifer, and then yeah, I heard he passed. So yeah. Oh, see, and that's good because that takes care. especially the alcohol hava, because for some reason that attracts people. I can't imagine why. All right, so I think this is hot enough for me not to kill myself. No, need a little more. So let's see. Let's stir and then stand. So I got a few more minutes on the Knorr pasta. I started that a little earlier because I had to add multiple ingredients. This other one is just water only, so I kind of took for granted. Well, it's funny. So I like usually you guys on my lives, I'll have bourbon. Bourbon's kind of like my happy drink. But when I eat dinners, at least a couple of nights a week, I won't do bourbon. I'll just have a glass of wine with pasta or whatever. And I've gotten wines, and then I have friends who love wine, and we wind up trading bottles of wine, and I somehow wound up with a collection of bottles. So it's pretty. Oops, sorry about that. Just having a malfunction over there. All right, so um, yeah, the wine or the liquors, and guys, if you want to get alcohol as a trading item, you can go to the liquor store and buy the little airplane bottles, and those are tradable sizes. So I'm gonna put this in the sink. I'm gonna move this over here so I don't burn the shit out of myself, guys. Okay, so the mistake I did with these last time is I didn't mix them right. So I'm gonna give this a good mix with the big spoon, because I tried to shake it last time I tried one of these. It was that different dish, and it smells like spaghetti and meatballs already. Bye, Jennifer. Take care of yourself. Be safe. And then I will seal this puppy. Bye, Flintstone girl. Take care. And close the zipper and let's stand 12 minutes. So this guy's about done. So I'm going to give him a time cook. Oh, no. Kitchen timer. All right. So 12 minutes on the kitchen timer. This is going to get hot here. That's the Readywise. And the other pasta's here, which I'm about to take off the heater. So I would recommend not only trying different products, but trying different dishes within the products. Now, I've had this one before. It's been a while, and it's not terrible. But I've also had I've had another dish from this one, and one, it was a pain in the butt to make, and then it didn't taste good, which just pissed me off. So I didn't buy that one again. So just because you like a brand doesn't mean you shouldn't try a few different ones over time just to see what you like. But so not all of the Readywise products, these guys come as or cook in the bag. They do have a variety that are more for long-term prep, and it's more in a conventional Mylar bag. It's a 5 mil bag. This is a 7.5, so you can actually boil the water in there. And you notice it's gusseted on the bottom, so you can stand it upright. The other ones are not gusseted, and hence they're a little cheaper per ounce because it's not meant to cook in there. You open them and you dump them into a pot or something else. So this guy's done. I'm going to mix it up a little bit more, and we're going to let this do its thing here, and that'll thicken up a bit. I'm going to cover you and let you do pasta stuff over there. So while we're waiting for everything to cook, was there any news articles that anyone wanted me to pull up? Because there's all sorts of interesting stuff. I keep hearing Russia's attacking, not attacking. Now Russia doesn't know where the Ukraine is and whatever. And the president, I don't know if y'all saw, the president was answering questions and then walked the wrong way. And the Secret Service guy standing there with his mask like this, and all of a sudden he goes, and he runs over and like redirects the president. You have to find that video. It's funny. Yeah, and Joe, that's the best way to do it. But in the event what you normally get is not available, which doesn't seem to happen too much in your area, but it could. It doesn't hurt to at least, and I've mentioned this before, have that product B, that alternative where you're like, okay, you walk in and you're like, I don't have this widget, I'm going to go get that one. And you're not thinking about it in the store while everyone else is freaking out, right? You go, you see it, and it's not there, and you just thump, and you go to the next one, and you're out. Um, I went shopping, like I said, during Ike, and I was just picking up odds and ends because we had kind of prepped up. And honestly, I watched people, they were sitting there debating what they were doing, and you could see like 1 out of 10 were sitting there and they go, oh, there's no bread. And the husband and wife would look at each other and she'd go, frozen section. They were gone. Or another couple went, let's go get flour and salt. And they were going to make their own, right? And they were, and then everyone else was sitting there. There's no bread. What do we do? Find the employee. And you don't want to be the find the employee person. You want to be the go to get the flour or go get the frozen stuff and get the hell out of the store before people freak. Wait, somebody, certain things I'm brand loyal, other way. Right. And cheaper is not always worse, and more expensive is not always better. But it definitely doesn't hurt to at least know the different brands and know where they succeed and fail. Like I said, the Knorr I've eaten before, and I know this dish is decent. There's one that's just god awful. It was bad and watery. I made it exactly to the package, and it just straight up sucked. So yeah, Oz, some jars, and we notice them. Folks, I don't know if you can answer Oz's question. Oz, I found that the cans went from about the jars rather, and I'm talking 1 pint, went from about $7 to $9. So they went up a little, which if you think about it is a big increase because it's almost like a 15-20% increase. Availability was hit and miss, but I hear a lot of canners are having a very hard time even finding lids. So I don't know if anyone else can comment. No, I did not see that. Ooh, that's terrible. Hey, shh. You want to go to jail? I confused him. He doesn't know that word. You want a kennel? Oh, you knew that word. You better go to bed. I'm going to kennel you. Wow, $11 a case? That's high. For the pint or the big ones? RVA. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of that. I'm seeing stores closing because of lack of inventory. Um, I know, like I said, Sassy does Etsy stuff, and she put in, normally if she put in like an order for stuffed bears or ribbon or whatever, it would be 12 weeks or 10 weeks or 5 weeks or whatever. There, and she's part of an organization, like a little guild of craftswomen and craftsmen, and they've put in orders, God, September of last year, August, September, and the products are just now showing up at the door. And she's cross-checking with the other ladies, and the other ladies are like, yeah, I got mine yesterday. So that's expensive. And yeah, the jars are expensive. Good Lord. Sure, Loretta, it's almost cheap enough for me to buy it here in Texas and then pay the $5 to ship them to you, but they probably break along the way. See, that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing between $7.99 and $9.99, depending on which store I go to. Okay. Yeah, and also see, there's that, the economics again comes into play. Is are you going to for all the labor you put into canning, which is great under normal times, if your cost of the container is that high, would you be better off buying pre-made from the get-go? And granted, you're not making it, but you know, you have that benefit. That's tough. Wow, the 11 bucks is high. Oz, what are you seeing? What's the price you're seeing there? I know you guys have a different currency, but so let's see. I did have a good oh yay. Okay, so Ottawa police, the Bloomberg News just or Bloomberg Financial just reported Ottawa police are limiting access to the downtown core of Ottawa. So they're trying to slow down the protests. So for those of you who have friends up there, I've been trying to tag Northern Girl on a lot of this stuff, but I think she's on. Is she on site or is she still out? I know she had to come home. Hackers beware. Oh, that's a good article. Here's a good one for you while we wait for the food. Let me share. Let me share the tab. And oh, hey now. Can you guys see that? So hackers beware. The Justice Department is doubling efforts to thwart cybercrime. And what they're saying is they're going to increase, fresh off its largest financial seizure ever. And by the way, that financial seizure was cyber criminals hacked one of these crypto facilities and walked off with, like, I think $1.5 billion or something. In the speech to attendees in the Munich Security Conference, I don't know why it's in Germany, Deputy Attorney General Lisa Monaco unveiled several new initiatives by the Justice Department and FBI to crack down on the cyber hackers. So, yeah, they're going to come after. They should be coming after these folks, because these jerks, they ruin everything else for people. I believe that. Oh no, did she get the cootie and then get the Okay. Oh no, I didn't realize she was. I knew she had gone home. She wasn't feeling well. That's not bueno. So let's see. I'm still waiting for that food to finish up. It's quality preserving jars or average 20 to 30%. That sounds about right. So guys, here's something I was talking about with some of the energy sector folks. So we've all seen anywhere, even though they say the consumer price index has been about 10, 12% or 6 to 10% increase, that's bull. We're all seeing 20 to 30% increase in products at least, even vehicles. So just for giggles, I looked at an old advertisement for an SUV and it was one of these really expensive ones. It was like 80 grand. I looked at the same SUV a week ago and it's 120. Same spec, same trim, everything. Then I looked at a smaller car like a Mazda, and the Mazda was like 15 grand before, now it's 22. So it's like a 25% increase on a lot of this stuff. That came hand in hand with not only inflation, but the price of energy going up by 50 bucks. There's some analysts that are saying that the price of oil, if we're not careful with the market and people don't behave overseas, could go over 100 into the 120s to 140s. We could start seeing from pre-Rona prices till now, instead of a 25% increase, a 40% increase. So again, if you could find that stuff that's, how do I make this quiet? Oh, hush. So if you can find the stuff on sale, like Hava was saying, that would be a great way. Wait, when you see the article, Article with meats are now racist. Racist against who? Puerto Ricans and Mexicans? Obviously, they never. It's like somebody told me on another platform, this is racist. You know that Hispanics don't like firearms. And I'm like, have you ever met the vaqueros in Texas, the rancheros here? Dude, they have 45s that are gold inlaid. I mean, it's literally the most beautiful art piece I've ever seen. And it's a 45. I'm like, don't tell me they don't like guns. These guys have beautiful firearms. I mean, I couldn't even afford that, for crying out loud. It just, it, okay. U.S. Fuel is now 170, a buck 70 to a buck 80 a liter. Ouch! Holy hell! A buck 70, a buck 80 a liter. So I'm doing that. So that puts you. Holy cow! That's over $7 a gallon, I guess. I get. Well, you guys know you're using metric. I'm trying to do both the currency and the volumetric conversions in my head, and my brain is tired and I can't do it. But holy cow. So that's like $8, a little under, like 6.5, $7 per gallon equivalent, roughly. And what's the currency exchange between US and Australia? It's not that far off, is it? Isn't it like 90 cents? It's pretty comparable. That's a hell of a lot of money, though. Even if it was US currency, that's crazy. Jackson, hold on. UPS has arrived. Dude, go to bed. No, go the other way. You're busted. Bye now. I told you no. So he's preemptively barking, right? He's looking under the door, and anytime he hears a vehicle, he barks at it and then listens to see if it's actually UPS. And then when it goes by, he sits and he comes back to the kitchen. And then he runs back because he wants to bark at that UPS truck. Yeah, that is too damn much money. Okay, so I'm almost pretty much a 1-for-1. So yeah, that's crazy. God Lord. Okay, so what we've got here is and then with the trucker shortage in general, I'm not talking about the protest, but the trucking shortage in general. Again, even though we pipeline stuff to the refineries, right, for the most part, we still have to truck it back to gas stations, back to delivery stations. So, okay, for some reason, I thought you guys had the British pound. I don't know why I thought that. You guys are using US currency. Okay, so that, or US equivalent. So, yeah, that's like, I went to Belize and they had British pounds, and that was an easy conversion at the time because I think it was like 50 cents to £1, something like that. So that was quick to convert. But yeah, yeah, at a buck 80 a liter. Holy cow, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, that's upsetting too. I don't know what our leaders are doing right now. You notice I'm looking at the news, and this is what I find really, really freaking amusing is they're putting all sorts of stuff about oh, for Christ's sakes, talking about everything but the fact that people can't afford gas right now. And it's really annoying the crap out of me. So yeah, okay, so let's see. No, we have Australian. Yeah, no, yeah, I get what you're saying. Proportionately is what you're saying. You're still paying hellaciously more. So it was, if I'm doing my math backwards now, it was under $1 in Australia per liter pre all the BS. And now it's $1.80, give or take. That's absolutely crazy. 681 gallon again. Yeah. And and Big Chap, you're probably paying about $1 and change more than what we're paying in Texas. And we got the refineries down here. There's literally refineries like up the highway, you know, about 2 hours from where I am. So, yeah. And is that due to, man, because you guys have an offshore, I know you have oil and gas production in Australia, both on land and offshore, and you have refineries there. But I'm sure you don't make enough there to cover Australia, so you have to import. Either that or they're taxing the hell out of you guys in the background and you're not seeing it. So, all right, I need 2 little bowls so we can do our demo here. These should work. So let's see if I did this right. Yeah, guys, so if you can do, like Hava was showing earlier, if you guys can, hold on, let me see, ABC 15. ABC 15 in Arizona. Taking actions for foster kids. Nope, that's 3 men arrested. Stepping into rescue, DPS to yeah, they keep Tennessee bill. Spider-Man No Way Home. Oh, that's not good. Tesla car is suddenly stopping at highway speeds. Let me see what you said there, Puddle. Hold on. Astonishing and horrific conduct by judge. I might have to do a different type of search. Let's try that again. Conduct by judge ABC 15. Let's see. There we go. All right, let's see if I can stream this for you guys so you guys can take a peek at what Puddle's talking about here. Let's see. Share. Let me know if you guys can see this. Oh, no, that's Judge Abbott. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Politics. Okay, I'm going to mute this. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's see. So on April 3rd, 2019, the court hearing looked and sounded mostly like any other. Sentenced a man who would plead guilty to his 4th, 5th, and 6th felonies. But about 8 minutes in, Otis is shuffling through papers. She makes an offhanded comment. I can hear those bubbles. Staff and her staff threw a party in the courtroom for the defendant's young son. Huh. That's probably not. There we go. Finally.
Otis, while she was under judicial investigation, and tonight Dave's uncovering more about her time in the courtroom.
He shows us some of the concerning and bizarre contact, including allegations of inappropriate contact with defendants and even a birthday party.
All right, let me rewind that. I didn't have it.
Judge Aaron Otis is sentencing a defendant.
Can you guys hear that?
Has a total of 6 known felony convictions, including multiple domestic violence assaults. It looks normal, sounds normal, unless you catch this quick line from the judge.
Hey, Art.
Bubbles from a bubble gun given to the defendant's 3-year-old son to celebrate his birthday. You can see quick glimpses of his head in the gallery. There's no video of the birthday party.
No.
Okay, so why is that?
Because the FTR was shut off.
They turned off the courtroom cameras.
Absolutely, yeah. All the audio and video was shut off. So this is one of the defendants that they
had a crush on. They really liked him. They would flirt with him all the time.
Kelly Schaefer was Otis's clerk, then turned whistleblower, and by they, she means Judge Otis and her bailiff, Barbara Chavez. Both declined to be interviewed.
They bought cupcakes. They bought a little bubble gun for the kid to play with and other toys. And then they went ahead and went on the record and they sentenced him and off the line.
During the official sentencing hearing, you can see a bottle of pink bubble solution next to Otis. A deputy moves it after a few minutes. The defendant and is on his sentencing. He's going to be going away to prison.
Yes.
They throw a birthday party for his son. They use the public's courtroom. That's kind of event.
Yes.
ABC 15 contains confidential records, sealed documents, and complaints from multiple cases. They show insiders and attorneys have raised concerns about routine and inappropriate contact with defendants going back years. One issue, ex parte communication. He's talking to defendants, people without their attorneys present.
100%.
And that's a pretty big no-no.
It is a big no-no.
And this is something that you saw and something that would happen
Daily, routinely.
really.
Absolutely routinely. Almost every single day.
In this statement, Otis said, "To be clear, at no time did I ever participate in ex parte communications," and she absolutely refutes the claims. Schaefer blew the whistle on Judge Otis after 2 years in her courtroom. They forced the clerk's office to file an official complaint with the Arizona Commission on Judicial Conduct, the body that oversees judges. ABC 15 confirmed it's one of at least 2 complaints the commission has received about the judge, outlining evidence about ex parte communications, the birthday party, the memes and emails, and other issues. But the commission dismissed those complaints, and because they were dismissed, public records about those cases have either been redacted, with Otis's name removed, or blocked from release.
I think people just didn't believe the inmates that it was going on. I think there was a big part of that going on when inmates were telling their attorneys that this was happening. And I think that they were just
Like, okay, sure.
okay, whatever, that really isn't happening. What judge is going to come into a locked courtroom and talk to the inmates?
I do believe.
A key example, the capital murder trial of Victor Hernandez. ABC 15 obtained this sworn affidavit by Hernandez, signed and notarized in April 2020. He stated Otis spoke to him without his attorneys present multiple times, either in the hallway or courtroom. Hernandez also claimed Otis constantly asked him about his music.
The impact.
And Schaefer remembers Otis talking about the music.
Somehow she got a CD of his rap music, of that particular defense. And I was never able to figure out how she got that music.
She had a defendant's music, and she
Oh, yeah. And talk about how much she liked the music and would listen to it. And we still, to this day, I don't know how she got the CD.
ABC 15 interviewed multiple legal ethics experts. They say this type of misconduct is serious, especially the ex parte communication. It raises questions about impartiality and fairness and can put cases at risk. Now, we'll be covering those implications more in future reports and also reporting more on the lack of transparency in the process for investigating judges. Because right now, the public deserves to know a lot more about their public officials' actions than what's in the public record. In response, Erin Otis sent us a lengthy statement. She says the Judicial Commission dismissed all of the allegations you just saw, and she said this about the birthday party. My staff did provide a 2-year-old boy who was present in the courtroom on his birthday with his parents, who are both the defendants and victim, with a donut, and I did suggest those present in the courtroom sing happy birthday to him. My staff also provided the child a toy to play with as he was getting restless in the courtroom waiting. But later in that same statement, Otis then refutes there was a birthday party as part of a broader denial. I'm investigator Dave Biskobing, ABC 15, Arizona.
And the immediate fallout from Dave's reporting continues. Within the past hour, Maricopa Superior Court confirmed bailiff Barbara Chavez is no longer working for the courts. Our dishonorable investigation is not over. It was never just about this one judge or this one courtroom. This is about a larger system that let it happen, a system that lacks transparency and public accountability. Dave's on it. You can find everything he's reported so far and his future reports in this series on your favorite streaming devices and on abc15.com/.
All right,
dishonorable.
so yeah, that's a stupid thing. Well, here you go, guys. Just to show you guys what I've. Let's see if we can change the lighting a little bit because it's kind of bright. Oh, that made it worse. Shit. There we go. Okay, in theory. So I don't know if you guys can see this. So this is the, that's the Knorr product. And again, this has milk and other stuff in it. So again, it's a good product. It has about a year and a half shelf life, depending on when you buy it. Lately, and you probably saw my short, product is showing up halfway through its shelf life because it's sitting on a dock or in a warehouse somewhere because they can't get it transported and then put in the shelf. So expect that you're going to continue to see products arriving in the past that may have had a year shelf life now show up and they've already only got 6 months left because they spent 6 months in the boonies somewhere. Yeah, it's about money. And you know what's funny, Oz, is there are a lot of energy companies that are trying to do the whole ESG thing, more green, more compliance, stuff like that. And then you have some I've seen who they don't do what they're supposed to at all. So anyway, that's that product. And then, so this one, I think I either put a little too much water, or it wasn't boiling enough. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm going to kill the light for a second. See if that helps any. There we go. So it just looks like a little pasta dish, basically. And it has these little meatball looking things. I guess that's the beef in it. Yeah, it's a little undercooked. I probably didn't have the water hot enough, and that would have been my own fault. It doesn't taste bad. It does need to be cooked a little bit more. So making sure you get it to the right temperature is going to be super, super key. And this one's really just mac and cheese and this tastes really good. This one goes well with, yes, actually, Sherry, interesting you say that. I'll show you something I was playing with. Because you know me, Mr. Engineer, I like to do experiments. So I took all-purpose flour, poked a small hole under the seam here, and I stuck it in the food saver and vacuum sealed it. So I want to see how long it's going to hold seal. Eventually I'll use it. But right now it's been like this for a couple of months at least. And that will make it last a hell of a lot longer. So also with no oxygen, any critters, bugs that are in rice or flour will eventually die. Oh, Big Chap, yeah, I was using the microwave to boil the water for one of them. So I had a pot on one, and so I didn't have multiple pots going at once. I simply put the water for the Readywise dish in the microwave just to save me from having to maneuver around multiple hot pots. But I didn't heat it enough. So yeah, you rolled in a little late. So this basically was a 2 cups. And you can tell it didn't cook quite right. So I mixed it properly this time. I just didn't, the water wasn't hot enough to do what it needed to do. And so this is, I've tried these a couple of times, and mixing them and making sure you get all the powder mixed in can be a bit of a challenge. You got to get in there with a long spoon. So if you're using this in the field, you're going to need something long enough. You can't, yeah, so no worries, Big Chap. So this one I was cooking, this is the Knorr, oh, I think I threw out the paper. No, here it is. So this one was this one you've probably seen before. And it required a little milk and butter, although you can omit those. And this requires a stovetop. This cannot be nuked. This one was a comparison to, basically I wanted to do a prepackaged survival food to a household staple that everyone's seen to kind of give you an idea. So a few things. The bags, this is the second time I've made one of these. The bags hold up fine. In this case, the water wasn't hot enough. So what I would recommend, if you stack these, like if you put these in a, no, Hava, I think you couldn't do these on an open flame. I think you'd need to put it in a pot. Yeah, and Augustin works too. Augustin's a good product. Mountain House I've had before. They're a good product. And again, this isn't for everybody, obviously, but what I did want to do is put something that's super economic and you can find it everywhere, and then something that's more long-term. And it's really not apples to apples, because this is meant like Big Chap. If a bunch of us were out in the woods and, we were, having a few beers and we're like, oh, hey, we need to eat. We can boil some water on a pot, pour it in a few of these. We just got to make sure you mix it right. Yeah, you would just boil the water on an open flame. So yeah, I'm using the microwave because I'm cheating a little bit, so I don't make 50 different dirty pots in my kitchen. But in reality, you could cook either of these with an open flame in a small pot, something even smaller than this. This is a 3-quart, I think. But yeah, and again, there was dual purpose. I wanted to kind of share what it looked like with you guys. And then I'm going to store this, and this will be like side dishes for the weekend as we go about our business. But yeah, as you can see, so the product's not terrible. It's actually tastes pretty good. I did not get the water temperature right. So these are very finicky when it comes to mixing and water temperature. And I'm sure it's not just these. So you could try to take it out of the package. I haven't tried that. Yeah, and also if you're mobile and you see like my last position with my company, one of my positions, I hit in 18 months, I put 60,000 miles on my personal vehicle. I hit 3 continents, 12 cities, and that doesn't include rental cars and God knows how many hotels. So this would have been something I could have easily put in like my luggage, just 1 or 2 of these in the event I get stranded somewhere. I can pull them out of my bag, and if I can find some hot water, I can make them. Now, supposedly you can leave them sitting in the liquid even if you don't have heat, and eventually they will rehydrate and you can eat them. But obviously that probably won't taste quite as good. But it'll get you fed. So I guess that's, and so I guess this is, okay, I nuked this one a little bit. The water wasn't hot enough. There it is. It's just a little side dish. You probably need a little Tabasco or salt and pepper with it, even though it already has plenty of salt to preserve it. But yeah, that's sweet potatoes. I love sweet potatoes. Yep, and actually I dehydrate a lot of broccoli and other veggies. What I'll do, I'll buy them in the store, and these are super cheap, typically. I actually bought this one for a recipe. So you're supposed to blanch your veggies, but when you buy them like this, they've already been blanched before they've been frozen. So you can literally just take like the pre-cut frozen broccoli florets or other veggies and just lay them in your dehydrator. And you don't have to mess with them. You don't have to blanch them, treat them, nothing. And it comes out really good. So, yeah, so that's it, gang. That's a quick little cooking video between the two. Either one's good. Obviously, if you're hunkered down at home and you have the milk, or I guess you could use almond milk if you wanted to, or just omit the milk and put water. These are really great. They're a good side. Now they have no meat in them, whereas this one did. Allegedly, it has the little meat niblets. But again, they're not meant for the same thing. The Knorr product is really a side dish, and this other one is really meant to be like a meal on the move. So, you know, having a couple of bags of that kind of stuff in your vehicle, maybe not a bad idea. Certainly, if you go camping, you can fit a few of them. They're super light when they're dehydrated. So it's purely a question of finding water, heating it, and using it for the food. Um, yeah. Yeah. And these kind of dishes, Big Chap, are really great. You're absolutely right. They're really great to do quick meals, quick snacks, quick sides. Even if you're cooking with your kids, like we had to during Harvey or Ike rather, because they were still little. We still had natural gas, which was nice. So, you know, I'd flip on one of the stoves and the kids could cook with me. And it was very simple to make. So even a younger, you know, a kid, not a little munchkin, but, you know, a 10, 11, 12-year-old kid could easily cook this and not destroy the kitchen in the process. Um, oh, yeah. See, that's a great idea. You're talking about the little like 50 cent or $1 Charlie the tuna pouch. It basically looks like this, but it's small. Yeah, that's a brilliant idea because you can even throw that in the doggone pasta and do like almost like a tuna dish. It'll certainly get you by, and it actually wouldn't be, it would be cheap too. Yeah, most definitely. So, and actually, that's a brilliant idea because I have MREs, but I bet I could probably use a couple of tuna pouches in my truck. Because if I get lost, even if I call someone, it's going to take them an hour to find me. So, because I'm out there where there's cactus and coyotes and drilling rigs and solar panels and the occasional cow. And if the cow doesn't like you, you're going for a run for at least a few hundred yards till it decides to get tired. So MREs are not bad. They're totally, especially when you're hungry, they come out really good. Yes, and that's very valid point. For that, for urban settings, I would not use the Adventure series with the gusseted pouch. These are specifically meant to be cooked in the bag. So this is more meant for being on the road or in a remote location. If you're at home and you're locked in, kind of like we were for the Rona, then I would get the version Readywise has, which is more a conventional Mylar bag, and you don't cook in the bag. You open it and you pour it into a bowl or into a pot and you cook it in there. And the same Mountain House, the other brands that are out there. But yeah, this does take a lot less space. I did a lot of dry goods canning, if you will, you know, where you put a vacuum on a mason jar full of rice or pasta or whatever. And it really, I like them because bugs can't chew through a jar the way they could chew through a Mylar. If they detect there's food in there, they can penetrate and defeat the bag. But they take up a lot of room and they can break. And as time goes on, I'm thinking the Mylar may be the way to go just for the convenience. So, but yeah, yeah. And you know what? Honestly, Big Chap, and yeah, Joe, absolutely. It's all about making do. And that's, if you guys had noticed, that's kind of the way I approach this a lot is just, you know, here's a comparison. This is what it looks like. They both taste good. This is what was easy about this one. This is what was easy about that one. These are the challenges. And you guys have to make those decisions in your situation. For me, I love doing experiments. Like I said, I'm waiting to see if this thing actually fails and seal. I don't think it will, not for a while anyway. But if I need flour, I can just, you know, rip this open and make my little artisan bread. Um, Not difficult to do the breads. If you just play around a little bit, do some experiments, understand what's available. Even if you don't buy it all the time because of cost or availability, at least if you know. So actually, Hava, I picked up a sample pack from Wallaby, which makes Mylar bags. And I got a food grade bucket from Firehouse Subs. By the way, if you get the food grade bucket there, it costs you $5, but the $5 go to the firemen's charity. And the only thing is it smells like pickles because it was their pickle bucket. So what I did, I filled it with water and bleach, and I left it sitting for a couple of nights because I couldn't wash it out. And Sassy's like, yeah, put bleach in it. And it counteracts the vinegar and the pickles residue, and it just comes out. She was absolutely right. And then I bought, it's not a Gamma lid, but it's a competitor called a Zip lid, and it's about 30% less cost. And so I'm going to take rice and put it in Mylar and put it in the bucket and then seal the bucket. Now, I would recommend a bag in the bucket, and I'm going to split it. And the reason I'm going to split it is because there are only 2 of us here. What I don't want to do is open a big Gamma lid and it's just one big bag. Because now once I've opened that bag, I have 5 gallons of rice, right? Whereas if I do 4 separate pouches, I open one, pour it into another container, and if for whatever reason it gets compromised, I still have 3 more separated in that bucket. But yeah, I mean, buckets are a way to go, and I'm about to start doing that myself for some of the dry goods. Yeah, and what I'm going to do, Oz, is I'm going to split them into Mylar and then put those 1 gallon bags in the 5 gallon bucket. It's going to be more work, but then that way, if one bag gets compromised, I haven't ruined my whole stash. All my cans of chili are no beans. Yeah, no, that's a really good idea. That's basically what I did. I'm going to try to do is bags to portion in buckets, because a gallon Mylar should hold about 1.5 pounds of rice, which would be about 8 cups. Am I right? 6 cups. And 6 cups will feed the 2 of us as a side dish for 4 days. So I did it backwards. Basically, if I open a gallon, that should last me and Sassy 2 weeks as a side dish. And then I open like canned beans or other stuff on the side. So, yeah. And if you have to move, yeah, no, actually the pack of bags came with oxygen absorbers. I'm going to need a mason jar that'll fit them all so I can preserve the actual things themselves. Yeah, I actually made a point of trying to find the food grade buckets. Everyone says that's just a better way to go for peace of mind. So, yeah, absolutely. And there's canned chicken, like canned tuna, and I throw that into ramen with some parsley, basil and lime, and some of those the Asian vegetables in a can, and I boil them together, and I make myself like a pseudo miso soup kind of thing. But yeah, that's good stuff, folks. Rub the inside of a buckle of stainless steel food. Yeah, I used the bleach and it worked really well, but yeah, I should have done that. That would have been a smart thing to do. That's neat. Yes, and they will actually, HEBs, for those of you in Texas, and Kroger / United, is Kroger United? I don't remember what they are. They have buckets in the bakery section. They sell them for like $1 or something like that. So if you just ask, they will probably give them to you, because by regulation, they won't reuse it, but you can use it. You just have to wash it out. That's a regulation. So, yeah, you know what, Joe? I've actually used them in a stir fry. And once I did the chicken, I threw the canned veggies in there. And then at the end, I put the rice toward the middle. And it worked out great. So, but anyway, gang, I'm going to call it. It's actually right over an hour, and we got our demos done. So if you're going to stay in place, this is great. if you think you're going to be on the road, this costs a little more. Remember, it's a higher price point, but you can cook it on the go, but you will need a longer device to mix it, or else it's, yeah, it does have, Kroger does have 15 names across the freaking country. That's the truth. But cost-wise, Knorr's the way to go. But if you want that long-term, remember, it's only a year, 18 months. If you want longer-term storage, I'd go with the Readywise, but don't buy the gusseted unless you plan to use it on a hike or on the road. If you're going to be hunkering down at home, get the standard meal that comes in a regular Mylar bag. You can't cook in it. You just throw it in a pot and off you go. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. I like cooking, if you couldn't tell. And I thought this would be a great way to compare some products and kind of share what I'm learning as I'm doing it. So you saw I screwed up. I didn't heat the water right on this one. So, but folks, ladies and gentlemen, y'all take care, be blessed, collaborate, talk to each other, email, text, message, whatever. Even if you use my comments as a place to trade ideas, that's fine. Help each other out, right? Costs are going up. There's no reason we can get around it. We just got to do some homework and figure out what we can do. So you guys take care. Oz down in Australia, I hope they leave you guys alone for a while. And to any of you up in Canada, hold fast. That's all I can say, guys. It's going to get rough up there. You all take care. Be good.